Hey, welcome back, guys, to another edition of the Mortgage Weekly Roundup. So today, just going to recap again the week's events and see what happened in the world of mortgages and real estate. So first thing that came up here that I thought I would share with all of you guys is this article by CTV News. Why some Canadians are moving to so-called medieval villages. This is an interesting one. As you know, the price of real estate has been skyrocketing. In fact, it's about 20% increase year over year. So 750,000, I think, is the national average for a home now. One solution here comes out of Northern Ontario, the Boreal Forest Medieval Villages. And it's not medieval in the sense that, people are LARPing out in the forest. It's more so that people are looking for sustainability, self-sustaining villages. These occur in areas that are considered unorganized townships, so a little bit more flexibility in the bylaws there. I know that parcels are going, they say, about $4,000 for half an acre. You're responsible for basically your livelihood and living there and keeping yourself warm, safe, and fed. So it's more of a communal village aspect to it, completely off grid. So you got a tiny home or you got a cabin or whatever you plan on building, but lots are half an acre, start at $4,000. Interesting concept. I'd like to know what you guys think of this. I don't think it's a solution by any stretch of the imagination for the majority of Canadians, but it's an interesting concept for those of you that are looking to maybe get off grid. So that was what came up here. Another thing is from Canada.com, Windsor Summit to discuss ways out of the housing crisis. So there's a summit coming up, and we're going to see a lot more of this, guys. We'll see that the crisis is making its way into a lot of communities, and people are trying to cope with ways of dealing with it. So I would keep an eye on this summit, see what happens as it progresses, and what solutions they come up with. Another story here comes out of stories.com. So variable rate mortgages still make sense. The reason I'm putting this one in here is because they actually interviewed me on this article. So this article basically talked about the choices we have now with fixed and variable. So as you know, variable rate mortgages have gone up as of last week, and the prime rate is sitting at 2.7%. So your discount is tied to that prime. The question is, should you go fixed? So I offer some alternatives here instead of going fixed right away on strategies to help you save some money. So check out this article if you have a chance. It was featured in stories.com. Just take a look at it and give it a good read. What happened in the world of the bond market? So the Canadian bond yield, we ended the week here at 1.7%. Indication of where we were going into March. So you can see there was quite a dip. March started to climb back up. So our bond yield, if we look at the bottom here, again, closed out at 1.7. What does that mean? That means that fixed rate mortgages are going up. We've seen some announcements earlier this week. Get your files in, guys. Rates are increasing. So keep an eye out on this if you're looking for a fixed rate mortgage. Although, like I said, check out that story because you might not want to go fixed, but this is definitely going to affect the fixed rate market. All right, and then what happened in the south of Canada? So meanwhile in the US, so here's an article. Global shares fall on inflation. Central bank moves. We're not really surprised with this. There are calls now that we're seeing that inflation, US inflation, hit almost 8%, 7.9%, and it's rising. So the bank is looking to make some moves. The U.S. Federal Reserve will raise interest rates next week. We're going to see this continue as they try to reduce inflation here and get things back in check. And it's interesting though, they said annualized clip in February, the largest annual increase in 40 years. So this is pretty substantial that we're seeing interest rates and we're seeing inflation at 40-year highs. So that's what's going on, guys, in the market. Here in Canada, in the US, my recommendation, still stay variable. Take a look at the fixed rates. They're about twice as much. And keep an eye out. I know there was another announcement that some rumblings. Now, I don't want to alarm anyone, but there are talks possibly on the rental side that for investment properties, anyone that's looking to get an investment property, there are talks of possibly increasing the minimum down payment. Right now it's 20%. That minimum down payment may increase to 35%. There's also some restrictions on where that down payment can come from. So some lenders will allow gifted down payments, or some of that money or all of that money coming from a home equity line of credit. So you're just pulling out the equity and using that as a down payment. So there's some talks that may end. We're not sure yet. Again, this is speculation at this point, but it has been passing around in the mortgage world for a little while. But I will keep you guys posted if it does happen to go live, and what this means for anyone that's looking for a rental property. I think that's going to put a little bit more pressure, even if it's just rumors right now, and seeing rental properties go up. Guys, thank you for joining me again on another weekly roundup. I'd love to have your questions, comments, and suggestions. And as always, click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.